When I think about it back, I do think it feels like a dream because I was so dazed and knocked out. Like, it just seems like I was dreaming. I always just think, like, at random points of the day, like, wait, he's really dead.
18-year-old Cameron Cook of Ladera Ranch was killed Saturday night when a car crash knocked him over a guardrail along the northbound 57 freeway just before Catella. Cook fell more than 50 feet to the riverbed below.
Someone just cuts in front.
Cook was traveling with his friend Logan Vescio, who was driving his red Camaro just before midnight, when he says someone cut in front of him, causing him to swerve and hit the center divider, and then skid all the way back across the freeway.
We ended up on the slow lane. Halfway into the slow lane, halfway under the shoulder.
Vescio suffered a cut to his knee, but the two teens were safe and were helped by Good Samaritan Marianne Tran, who stopped to make sure they were okay.
The car's leaking fluid, I wanted to make sure they were out of the car.
The police were called, and Tran says she stayed to make a witness statement. Tran stood by the rear of the Camaro near Cook, while Vescio entered his Camaro and tried to turn on the hazard lights.
And the switch was broken. So I was fumbling with the switch for a long time. And while I was doing that, that's when my memory stops because the second car hit.
Everything is slow motion as soon as the Civic hit. Because as soon as the Civic hit, I looked over and Cameron his legs were falling over and just ragdolling over the side.
And this bridge isn't even that long. It's like I had to crash in that exact spot. He had to be standing in that exact spot. My car had to be hit at just the right angle to where it would hit just him. Had to hit him hard enough to knock him over the bridge. The most wrong place in the world at the wrong time, I guess.
Tran, who was unhurt, said she realized there was nothing she could do immediately for Cook, so she ran to Vescio, who had been knocked out of the Camaro.
I went over to him, he wasn't able to get up. So I dragged him off the side of the freeway and placed him underneath the lamppost.
I remember Marion dragging me, but I didn't know that I was being dragged. I was just like, I thought that I was like walking because I was just so out of it. Because I was trying to walk and I couldn't.
Wasn't planning on being a hero, I was just kind of making sure he was okay.
I remember the whole time I was glad that she was there. From the beginning to the end, I was glad that someone had stopped, that she was there.
That second car, a black Honda Civic, was driven by 24-year-old Ashley Bryan, who was accused of having a blood alcohol level more than twice the legal limit more than an hour after the crash. Bryan faces a maximum sentence of 5 years and 8 months in state prison and is currently being held in lieu of $100,000 bail. Tran and Vescio say shock set in soon after the accident, and they're only beginning to process it days afterwards.
It didn't kick in until like 2 days ago, like the day after. So, yeah.
You should realize it a little bit at a time. It seems more and more real every time I wake up. I hate waking up in the morning now. Because you always wake up like expecting that it still sort of maybe could have been a dream, but it wasn't.
Vescio is struggling with the loss of his friend and can't imagine the pain for Cook's family.
His family is just sad to a degree that I can't. Still, even after like watching my friend die, I still can't understand like the degree of sadness that they're at. It's still unimaginable.
Vescio described Cook as a great friend who was always upbeat and always positive.
You don't even like really realize until you think about like, wait a second, like I never saw Cameron sad or like angry at anything, He was always like, even like after I crashed my car, he was like, dude, like, it's alright that your car's totaled, like we're okay, like we're gonna be alright, we're gonna get out of here. He always knew what mattered and what didn't. And bad things happen to him just like happen to any teenager, like with girls and stuff, but he just never let his day get down from it. He told me one time that he hates how people lie about other people after they die so that it makes it seem better, so that the funeral goes better. But nobody has to do that for him. Nobody, Like, someone telling the truth about Cameron sounds even better than most of the fake ones, So he, who knows? Maybe he knew that if he lived his life that way, no one would have to lie about him. I just hope that everyone else, can just let it affect their lives in a way that we do the good things that he would have done as a collective whole.